Tonight on CTV News at 6, struck by lightning. An Edmonton woman rushed to hospital during last night's storm.
My first thought, because of the world today, do you need Narcan? No, she doesn't do drugs. She got hit by lightning.
Jasper seniors living in Hinton, waiting for their wildfire-damaged homes to be rebuilt.
They've integrated very well into the community, but they miss home.
And
a real elephant? My gosh, why not?
restoring the elephant in the round.
You know, that's fantastic. And it's life-size, and I'm almost close enough to it.
Well, as we head closer to the weekend, it looks like the forecast for Saturday is improving. We'll see a little bit more sun, but still a chance of showers on Sunday. I will have your full forecast coming up.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. An Edmonton woman was rushed to hospital after being struck by lightning in a West Edmonton neighborhood. Today, her roommate is praising the quick response of EMS. Amanda Anderson reports.
This is a glimpse of a severe storm that rolled through Edmonton Thursday afternoon. One of the lightning bolts struck in the Collingwood neighborhood.
I was on the bus a couple blocks back. We heard it, saw the flash. I mean, the crack was so loud, you thought it was right next to you.
I heard the thunder and everything. At first, I thought it was a gunshot, but I noticed it was way too loud to be a gunshot.
Laura Penner says her roommate had just left to walk to the store. Penner says after she heard the bang, she looked outside. That's when she saw her roommate lying on the ground right here.
So I saw the lightning. It hit her pretty much directly. It flashed all around her. And so I ended up getting my partner and then my other partner to run over and administer CPR while I called EMS.
By that time, Marty Hemrick had gotten off the bus, steps away from where the woman was laying on the ground.
My first thought, because of the world today, do you need Narcan? No, she doesn't do drugs. She got hit by lightning. I was about to step up and help with the CPR because I have some training.
He wasn't needed. There's an EMS station about a block away, and Penner says a crew was able to get to the woman about a minute after the call.
And so it was really amazing that they were able to get out here so quick.
They worked on her for 20 minutes before they loaded her up, so, you know, because what I saw there, you know, is pretty sad, you know, to be just out for a walk.
She was taken to hospital in critical condition. Penner says she's still unconscious and sedated. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A woman in southeast Edmonton says she woke up to a stranger in her bed. Now police are releasing a sketch of the man. This happened in May, and police say the woman was sexually assaulted. She left the home immediately, and when she returned, he was gone. The man is described as Hispanic or South Asian, possibly in his early 20s, clean-shaven and about 5'6" or 7", with a slight build. Investigators say they believe this was an isolated incident and there is no risk to the public. Anyone with information can contact police or Crime Stoppers. An Edmonton man is charged with sexually assaulting a minor. RCMP in Fort Saskatchewan received a report at the end of June. Earlier this month, officers charged 22-year-old Amir Audric Ventula. He's expected to be in court at the end of the month. And a 34-year-old man is accused of impersonating an Edmonton police officer, as well as breaking into a woman's home and sexually assaulting her. Court documents show Kyle Edmund Buzan is charged with 2 counts of impersonating police, obtaining property under false pretenses, and breaking into a home with intent. The offenses are alleged to have happened between May the 1st and July the 6th. Edmonton police say they are investigating the use of an officer's uniform in a criminal incident. They say its officer had no knowledge of the incident and was not involved in any way. The City of Edmonton confirms the accused is a city employee. It says he is currently on leave and his employment status will be determined based on the results of the investigation. Both EPS and the city declined an interview. Buzan is set to appear in court next month. Strathcona County has lifted water restrictions after its main water supply was damaged. Last night, people were told to cut back or postpone all non-essential water use. EPCOR says the line was damaged during infrastructure upgrades. It says the water line's location was closer than where it was initially identified. EPCOR says repairs are ongoing. It says customers continue to receive water. A southern Alberta restaurant has shut down its food facilities after more than 200 people who ate there became sick. Alberta Health Services has declared a gastrointestinal outbreak at Saskatoon Farm near Okotoks. 235 people had become ill after eating at the restaurant last week. 2 have been hospitalized, with 1 since released. Dozens of people have tested positive for E. coli. Several have also tested positive for a parasite rarely found in Alberta or even Canada. Because symptoms from the rare parasite can take a while, AHS is asking anyone who visited the restaurant since June 30th to be tested.
And so we're in that timeline that we would expect for the symptoms right now to be E. coli. The Entamoeba histolytica requires a little bit longer from when someone may be exposed to when they might start having symptoms. And so that's in part why we're going back to July 1st, again, out of an abundance of caution.
The farm's water system is the likely culprit of the outbreak. Saskatoon Farm has since switched to a different water source. It says the restaurant and food facilities will remain closed until testing shows the water system is safe. About a dozen seniors from Jasper are now living in Hinton as they wait for their lodge that burned down to be rebuilt. They're just some of the Jasperites still settling into new living situations 1 year after a wildfire tore through their town. As Jeremy Thompson reports, Hinton's housing market is feeling the pressure.
Like the rest of Alberta, Hinton's population is growing. Among the newcomers, Jasperites displaced by last summer's wildfire, like this group of seniors. Their old home, Pine Grove Manor, is gone.
They've integrated very well into the community and into the different communities of ours or elsewhere that they've moved into, but they miss home.
Town councillor and Evergreen's CAO Kristen Chambers says about a dozen Jasper seniors now call Hinton home. A handful of others found spaces in the Edson Lodge or with family elsewhere. An upgrade from the hotel rooms the low-income seniors had been placed in after the fire.
The last one actually just being housed the first week of June.
Rebuilding that lodge in Jasper will take a while. In the meantime, the displaced seniors are preparing to move into new modular homes coming to this land in Hinton. The provincial government has committed $18 million to build 21 homes. A press secretary tells CTV the land will be serviced soon, and we are working towards having the modular homes on site later this summer so residents can move into their new homes this fall.
It's interim for the Pine Grove residents because naturally they will be going back to their community as soon as places are available, but it will remain permanent housing managed by the Evergreens Foundation long-term for low to moderate income seniors.
New housing stock is hard to come by in Hinton as its population grows. Council is exploring infill options and identifying public land that could be used for homes. A steady stream of Jasperites have been settling in Hinton in the year since the fire, entering a housing market that was already stretched.
Definitely putting a lot of pressure on the market. Houses are going fast, and there's a lot of activity in the real estate market here. Chambers
expects her town will be feeling knock-on effects from the Jasper wildfire for years to come. In Hinton, Jeremy Thompson, CTV News.
If all goes well, Patricia Street Deli could be opening its doors in September. The family business was a staple in Jasper before it was torched by the wildfire last July. Merrick Takash has an update on the deli's new location in Edmonton.
It's been nearly 1 year since the Leaches moved away from the town of Jasper.
Well, we left our life in Jasper, and we're starting out new here, and so that whole experience hasn't been easy, like transitioning from a small mountain town to the city.
Wendy and Glenn Leach started the Patricia Street Deli 21 years ago. Since then, they've built a loyal customer base of locals and tourists.
The relationships we built over 20 years, they've stayed with us. The people are waiting patiently for us to open. So many fond memories that we can't even count.
CTV News spoke with the Leach family last summer, just after fire forced them out of Jasper.
It's still there. It's standing. I think the deli's untouched.
It turns out the deli suffered severe damage and couldn't reopen.
I think we found out in October that, yeah, we're done. And there was nowhere to rebuild in Jasper at the time, and so we just started looking at Edmonton. We need to get open. It's our livelihood.
But that hasn't happened yet. Their new location behind MacEwan University has been empty for weeks. awaiting a construction permit.
Now we have 14 feet of sandwich bar serving the customers. Behind us this wall will be gone.
Once the engineers got in here and did what they needed to do, they realized that there wasn't enough power to run all of our equipment. And so then that has to be resolved before the city can issue a permit.
The Leaches hope to be serving sandwiches again in September. They're looking forward to seeing new and familiar faces 4 hours west of where it all started. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
A University of Alberta athletics legend has solidified his name in Alberta hockey history. The Pandas head coach, Howie Draper, is now a member of Alberta's Hockey Hall of Fame. CTV's Evan Kenny has more on his legacy.
One thing has stayed consistent in all of these pictures. That's Howie Draper. He has been leading the University of Alberta Pandas women's hockey team for nearly 3 decades. His picture now hangs on another wall.
How do you put it into words?
Draper is part of the latest class inducted into the Alberta Hockey Hall of Fame.
It's surreal, I think, is probably the best way to put it. And I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't a little bit of imposter syndrome going on there.
However, his resume proves he is far from an imposter. Draper is the winningest coach in U Sports women's hockey history, picking up 8 national championships, being named Coach of the Year 4 times,
Canada has made magic in Madison,
and winning multiple gold medals with Team Canada.
It's not a matter of just, hey, he played or she played at the at the Olympic level or whatever. What kind of people are they? What did they contribute? What impact have they had? And have they inspired the next generation?
Draper is the 10th person or team inducted into the hall that spent time with the U of A, joining his former coaches, Claire Drake and Billy Morse.
When Coach Drake came through the doors, I think his focus was on helping young men grow. I think when your values are good values and you have them for the right reason, again, it's amazing what heights you can achieve.
Draper was inducted alongside 6 others, including longtime Edmonton Oiler Ryan Smith and 3-time Stanley Cup champion Joe Nieuwendyk. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Crews are transforming Rogers Place into a monster truck track. They're trucking in loads of dirt for Monster Jam this weekend. Fans who purchase tickets to the pit party can catch all the action, plus meet the drivers and get a closer look at the trucks. Classroom Crusher is one of the new trucks fans can see this year.
So it's a truck that is just too cool for school. It's a school bus that is 12,000 pounds, 12 feet tall, 1,500 horsepower. It's going to be a blast. The tricks we're doing, balancing these trucks on the front 2 tires, side 2 tires, it's the wildest thing. So if you've never seen it, you have to come out to Monster Jam. I mean, it is an experience of a lifetime for sure.
Monster Jam runs Saturday and Sunday at Rogers Place. I'll forget racing. Organizers are hoping people will come bounce around at a track near Edmonton's airport this weekend. The Big Bounce Canada Tour is set up at Radtork Raceway. It claims to be the largest inflatable event in the world. It has 7 large inflatables, including a 24,000 square foot bouncy castle and obstacle course. That's larger than an Olympic-sized skating rink.
Our castle, you have our DJs in there. It's a full-on party. You have snow, you have bubbles, you have beach balls, a little bit of everything.
Tickets available online. Radtork Raceway will host the event this Saturday and Sunday. All right, kind of a gray day, Corey, but it's sunny now, just in time for most of us starting the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. A nice mix of sun and cloud. And as we look outside, pretty nice late afternoon or evening. You're flying high with the CTV drone. Still some darker clouds in the region. We might see a light scattered shower or 2, but that chance is pretty slight. As we take a look out of the River Valley Skycam, our temperature right now is 22 degrees. Winds have picked up a little bit. We're seeing gusts around 30 kilometers per hour. We should see the wind die down as we progress throughout the evening, but a little bit gusty at this point. Yesterday at this time, we were under severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in the Edmonton area. Now it's areas east and south of Calgary, Coronation, Medicine Hat included in that. So other areas of the province are seeing active weather. For us tonight, fairly quiet. As I said, the wind will ease up. We will see a mix of sun and cloud throughout the rest of the supper hour and evening. Tomorrow morning, we start off at 12, a nice mix of sun and cloud, but a little bit more cloud building as we go throughout tomorrow. 21 for a high. a slight chance of scattered showers as we go throughout tomorrow afternoon. So keep an eye on the sky. It doesn't look like it's going to be a rain day or anything like that, but a slight chance does exist. As we take a look at Sunday, a better chance of seeing some early and midday showers with the cloud breaking a little bit as we head into the afternoon. 20 for a high for Sunday. Monday, 23, and that marks the beginning of a warm-up. As we get set to end off July, we do so with a lot of heat. I will have those details, your 5-day forecast, next time we chat weather.
Sounds good. Thanks, Corey. Well, stay with us. Up next, searching for answers.
Probably one of the scariest things I'll probably witness or be in my entire life.
We hear from an Alberta teen hospitalized in a road rage attack as police search for the people responsible. Also next.
So in a lot of ways, it creates trust, right?
Police officers helping Indigenous kids and teens pick out a new pair of shoes. An 18-year-old Calgary man and his family are pleading for answers tonight after the teen was violently attacked during a road rage incident earlier this month. His attackers are still on the loose. CTV's Mark Villani has more and a warning. Some of the images in this story may be disturbing.
4th Avenue Northeast is normally a family-friendly street with a local daycare and an elementary school. But that peace was shattered around 9:30 p.m. on July 15th.
It was terrifying. Terrifying.
That's the voice of an 18-year-old who was brutally attacked in a road rage incident. CTV News is protecting his identity as well as his parents for safety reasons as police search for the two men responsible. Surveillance video shows the teen practicing parallel parking in an SUV with his mom, preparing for an upcoming road test. When a white pickup truck pulled too close, the teen admits he flipped the driver off. The truck left, but came back moments later, parking on the wrong side of the road. Two men jumped out, banged on the SUV's windows, and pulled the teen from the vehicle.
I get 1 foot out, and that's where my memory goes blank pretty much from there. Almost my entire rib cage on the left side is bruised, and my spleen is enlarged.
He was struck several times, believed to be with a crowbar. His mother tried to break it up, but he was kicked on the ground before the men took off.
I never want to relive anything like that. There's going to be people looking. They're always going to be looking now, like me. I look every day at the camera, at all the vehicles that pass by. It would be nice if they would turn themselves in.
I ran down there and I seen blood was everywhere. It infuriates me.
The man's father says he's still shaken and wants accountability.
The one guy that was in the passenger seat had full intent on causing harm. You can see him right clear as day on the camera rummaging through the back seat of his truck to grab something.
Police describe both suspects as between 5'8" and 6 feet tall. One was wearing a navy tee and black pants, the other a white tee, black pants, and a black hat. Their vehicle is a white early 2000s Chevy Silverado with something extending from the truck bed. Investigators also want to speak with the occupants of a white Ford Fusion who may have witnessed or recorded the attack.
Probably one of the scariest things I'll probably witness or be in my entire life.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Water safety advocates raised a flag on the legislature grounds to commemorate World Drowning Prevention Day.
Keep going. There we go.
At the event, people also shared their experiences with drowning and close calls. Giselle Camano was walking her dog Watson in January 2023 when her dog saw a flock of geese and darted into the river. She instinctively went after Watson and fell in too. She was eventually rescued. She feels she has a responsibility to share her story.
We're very used to our routine, like what happened to me. And, when it comes to water, things can be very unpredictable. And so we have to really take necessary precautions being around the water.
The Life Saving Society says 40 to 50 people drown in Alberta every year. The Edmonton Police Service hit the mall today with some extra company.
We'll probably start over here. I know all the good stuff.
Operation Soul aims to build relationships between law enforcement and Indigenous youth. Officers help the kids shop for new shoes.
In a lot of ways, it creates trust, right? There's trust for the uniform, trust for police officers.
It really shows, outside of policing, that officers are just people trying to do their job.
30 kids took home new footwear from West Edmonton Mall Foot Locker. Coming up, the elephant in the room.
He is the only, as far as we know, the only taxidermied elephant in Western Canada.
The Royal Alberta Museum bringing new life to a longtime resident, now on display for the first time.
Well, it's turned out to be quite a nice late afternoon supper hour, and as we look outside right now through the CTV drone, we can see a mix of sun and cloud. Still some of those clouds a little bit darker, slight chance of scattered showers, but we will see the cloud continue to break up throughout the evening. And then it's the weekend. I have your full weekend forecast coming up after break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Alberta Museum is giving new life to an elephant who once lived in the Calgary Zoo in the 1960s. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, it's also a way to show guests what goes on behind the scenes.
The Royal Alberta Museum is addressing the elephant in the room. Its conservation team is sprucing up a juvenile Asian elephant named Gyro.
It's been behind the scenes for most of its existence, and now we're just happy to have it out front of house, having fantastic conservation staff working on it.
When guests come into the museum, they'll see history conservator Gigi Coulis giving him a fresh look.
Yeah, this is totally unique and novel, so it's pretty amazing.
The value is showing some of the things that are done behind the scenes of the museum that people don't get to see every day.
Gyro came from Toronto to Alberta in the 60s. This is a photo of him celebrating 1 year at the Calgary Zoo. In 1967, he died after his female mate knocked him into a dry moat. He was 6 years old and wasn't fully grown.
On our history team, just did like a deep dive because there wasn't a lot of information about him, and she just pulled up all these old newspaper articles.
The ram acquired him in 1979. He's never been displayed to the public before. The museum says while elephants are not native to Alberta, Gyro's time in Calgary makes him a part of provincial history.
He is the only, as far as we know, the only taxidermied elephant in Western Canada and in our collection.
An important reason to keep him looking his best after signs of wear, like these cracks.
So I'm applying it sort of in a small area with cotton balls, but I'm holding with tweezers.
As part of the conservation process, some of this overpaint that is obscuring some of the natural characteristics, that's being slowly and carefully removed so that you can see more of the natural characteristics.
While layers of paint are removed to bring Gyro back to life, a regular museum visitor has already been inspired to paint her own version of the elephant.
A real elephant? My gosh, why not? You know, that's fantastic. And it's life-size, and I'm almost close enough to it.
The museum says Gyro will be on display for the next couple of months. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Of course, so we're getting close to the end of July now, and I've been waiting for you and Josh, or Josh, to say, you know what, it's not actually cooler than usual. It's not actually wetter than usual. Feels that way sometimes.
It does. I think a lot of people have short-term memories, or last weekend was wet, and it's your days off, and it feels like, oh, this month just isn't living up to expectations. Yeah. But it's been fairly seasonal. Yeah.
Okay.
It has been. We'll take a look at the numbers shortly. Right now, you are taking a live look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right, or it's free. 22 degrees right now. That is our high from today. Let's take a look at some Weather Edge numbers. July, 30-degree days. Statistically, July sees 1.8 days, so 2 days, at or above 30 degrees. Well, if we look at the past 3 years, 2023, we had 1 day. Last year, we had 12. Last July, it was super hot. It was extremely hot, breaking records, and that was a record number of days in July at 30 or above. So far, this July, we've had 2, so we're falling statistically on average in that regard, and we could possibly see 1, maybe 2 added for the end of the month as we have a warm-up coming our way. For today, we added another day to below seasonal temperatures, but we've had 8 normal and 8 above. So we've kind of balanced out. Average seasonal high for July, the daytime high is usually about 23.5. Right now, we're at about 23.6. So we're fairly close to average seasonal high. As far as precipitation, we're actually a bit on the dry side. We haven't seen seasonal numbers. July is the wettest month of the year as far as rainfall, and it's been a bit on the drier side. As we look to the north-northeast, we are seeing some lightning popping up in and around and west of Fort McMurray, Peace River as well. There's a bit of a gap right to where we are, and then into the areas south, we start to see some rain and scattered showers. We might be seeing some scattered showers on the southwest corner of the city. Nothing too significant. As far as the rest of the evening, it will be a mix of sun and cloud. For tomorrow, we start off with a mix of sun and cloud. Slight chance tomorrow afternoon that we could see some scattered showers. Just keep that in the back of your mind for tomorrow. 12 to start off in the morning, wind light, 21 for a high for tomorrow. And again, a slight chance of scattered showers, so fairly similar to today. As we take a look at Sunday, slightly better chance that we could see some showers early in midday. Then the clouds should start to break, 20 for a high. And as we go throughout next week, we see temperatures climb. Tuesday, 27, 29 on Wednesday. So as we end off the month, we'll be adding in days above average seasonal high. And possibly on the last day of July, we could be around 30 degrees. So we'll see how that plays out. That trend has been holding to see our temperatures climb and that heat return. As we head into August, it looks like temperatures for the weekend to follow. Still above average seasonal high for the Saturday, but then we could see some showers as we head into the far extended forecast of the 10-day. In the meantime, again, 21 tomorrow, slight chance we could see some scattered showers. Jeff.
Thank you, Corey. Stay with us. Coming up, back above ground.
They are being reunited with their families early this morning.
How 3 miners trapped in a BC mine were rescued far faster than expected. Also next.
Very confusing and unsettling.
Donald Trump seemingly leaving the door open to grant clemency to a convicted Epstein associate.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Three miners are back above ground in northern British Columbia after being trapped by a rock slide for more than 2 days. CTV's Regan Hasagawa has more on the complex rescue operation.
After more than 60 hours trapped deep underground, these scenic views of the Red Chris mine are a sight for sore eyes.
3 workers from High-Tech Drilling who were safely brought to surface last night. They are being reunited with their families early this morning. We are deeply relieved that all 3 individuals are safe and in good health and spirits.
One worker described the ordeal as a wild week and said he was glad to be out of there. The diamond drillers from BC, Manitoba, and Ontario were rescued faster than experts had expected, thanks to their quick thinking and the help of new technology.
Safety protocols work. Incredible that Kevin, Darren and Jesse did exactly what they were trained to do, and because of that, they stayed safe.
The trio got trapped Tuesday after 2 rock falls in the access tunnel. They were able to get to a refuge chamber equipped with everything they needed to survive for weeks, but they did lose all communication.
We do the daily inspections. We do monthly inspections. We actually do second line of defense inspections with teams from external to observe and see. This one that caught us by surprise.
Experts say these kinds of rock falls are rare.
It's just nothing but uncertainty, radical uncertainty.
He says it appears everything was done to prevent the disaster, but the nature of the work is unpredictable.
They were probably drilling holes for explosives. What they were building was a ramp, or what was known as a decline into the underground.
He expects we'll soon be hearing about these kinds of situations more often.
See, BC is really open pit mining country, and it has been for a while. Very few underground mines. We're going to see more underground mines because of the demand for metals.
BC may lead the industry in safety, but experts warn automation is the next step to prevent future emergencies. The open pit mine at Red Chris is resuming operations, but the underground project will remain closed until the investigation is complete. Regan Hasagawa, CTV News, Vancouver.
Canada's Prime Minister says Israel is violating international law in its handling of humanitarian aid in Gaza. Mark Carney says Canada condemns the Israeli government's failure to prevent the rapidly deteriorating humanitarian disaster in Gaza. He's calling on all sides to negotiate an immediate ceasefire and for Israel to respect the territorial integrity of Gaza. Carney also reiterated the calls for Hamas to immediately release all hostages. The United Nations says as many as 9% of children in Gaza are suffering severe malnutrition. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says 122 people have starved to death. Israel denies creating a famine in Gaza and is accusing Hamas of engineering shortages by not distributing food that's already been delivered. Well, first it was July 21st. Then the date for a trade deal with the U.S. was moved to August 1st. Now Donald Trump says a deal may not happen at all, making tariffs unavoidable for the Canadian economy. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump says most trade deals will be finished by August 1st. But as for us,
we haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation.
Hot on the heels of senior Canadians declaring progress and encouragement after D.C. meetings.
I had a productive, cordial discussion meeting with Secretary Lutnick.
We don't have a deal with Canada. We haven't been focused on it.
It looks like we're trying to negotiate with the guy at the reception desk. Commerce Secretary Lutnick's not going to make decisions.
Ottawa has certainly been focused on Washington.
I hope the Prime Minister and the government will start doing is being a little bit more forceful in putting out exactly what we're going to do in terms of preparing workers who are going to be affected.
The hit is starting to be material and financial in nature.
The Canadian Chamber of Commerce says the months of uncertainty are toxic for business.
It's not going to go away on August 1st, even if we have a temporary deal, because we are facing a real review of CUSMA, which is the big one.
But for now, all eyes are focused on August 1st, with no one having a clear idea of what will happen before the day the president has threatened to impose 35% tariffs on all goods not covered by CUSMA. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
President Trump is leaving the possibility of granting clemency to Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell open. Maxwell's attorney says she is answering all questions from the U.S. Justice Department to the best of her ability and is not asking for anything in exchange. ABC's Perry Russum has more.
President Trump today asked about the possibility of granting clemency to Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell as she's questioned for a second day by the Department of Justice.
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
The Wall Street Journal reports Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump back in May he is mentioned in the Epstein files multiple times, along with other high-profile people. Trump trying to distance himself from the case today. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche today questioning Maxwell for 3 hours after a 6-hour meeting yesterday. Sources tell ABC News Maxwell initiated the meeting as she appeals her conviction to get out of her 20-year prison sentence.
We haven't asked for anything. This is not a situation where we're asking anything in return for testimony or anything like that.
Maxwell was convicted for her role in enticing and recruiting underage girls to be sexually abused by Epstein. She was also charged with perjury, but never tried in court for that. Annie Farmer says she was abused by Epstein when she was 16 years old. She testified against Maxwell.
I think that to be told that suddenly she's being brought to the table as a potential source of information when she's previously been charged with perjury by the government is very confusing and unsettling.
Maxwell's attorney says she was asked about 100 different people. Still not clear how much of the conversations today and yesterday will be made public. Todd Blanche only saying he will share what he learned at the appropriate time. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
South Park's co-creator made a mock apology to U.S. President Trump for ridiculing him in the show's season premiere.
Did you anticipate the reaction today? Have you been following it? What do you make of it? We're terribly sorry.
Trey Parker made the comments at a Comic-Con event in San Diego. The long-running satire show took several shots at the president, including depicting him in bed with Satan. The White House called it a desperate attempt for attention by a fourth-rate show hanging on by a thread. The show's season premiere coincided with an announcement that the creators made a $1.5 billion deal to stream all episodes on Paramount+. Canada's Supreme Court has given a thumbs down to hearing a legal case involving an emoji. Back in 2021, a grain company sent a contract to a farmer for delivery of flax over text. The response was a thumbs up emoji. The product was not delivered and legal action began against the farmer. A Saskatchewan court ruled in favor of the grain buyer, finding the emoji met signature requirements and was a legally binding agreement. The province's appeals court upheld the decision. The case went to the Supreme Court, which has dismissed the application and says costs must be paid to the grain company. Well, up next, fabulous fur.
Sometimes it's one hair that is in between you and the first place.
Some of the world's best dog groomers are in our province trying to snip, brush, and spray their way to the top. Also next.
The great thing about going rock hounding in Drumheller, you are never going to walk away empty-handed.
An event south of Edmonton aiming to teach amateurs the do's and don'ts of fossil hunting. And there is a live look from the CTV drone above the old Royal Alberta Museum. That building slated for demolition, but a recent chance for its survival was just revealed by the provincial government. They're looking for proposals to repurpose the site. Stay with us. Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar sitting just under 73 cents U.S. Oil is down around $65 U.S. a barrel. Gold dropped by nearly $38. On the stock markets, the TSX gained 122 points. The Dow Jones is up 208 points on the day. Well, the fur is flying at Spruce Meadows in Calgary this weekend, and everyone is welcome to watch. Hundreds of competitors from around the world are gathering for Canada's largest dog grooming convention. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Music plays and lights flash as dog groomers carefully snip, brush, and spray all breeds of pups as the public watches the live competition.
I find it very therapeutic. It's just not something you'll see anywhere else.
Master Groom Canada offers 3 days of competitions for hundreds of dog groomers from around the world.
You definitely need to put your own flair to it. It's about profile, it's about symmetry, it's about breed standard.
Above everything, this is about care for the animals. So the dogs need to be very well taken care of and look perfect at the same time.
And the pressure is on.
Competition gets really intense. People are overwhelmed. Some people are crying. Some people are, super nervous. You want to come here to win. And sometimes it's one hair that is in between you and the first place.
It's a really interesting subculture that we have here with dog grooming competitions.
They're competing for nearly $30,000 in prizes, trips, and points to qualify for world events. Team Canada made ground on the global stage last year.
It's the first time in I don't even remember how many years that Canada placed, and we won second in the whole world.
This Calgary event is the biggest in Canada.
This is the closest competition in North America for me to attend, so I really appreciate having it here.
While many aim for the podium, some are just glad for a chance to hone their skills.
A little anxious, but just mostly excited. I set my expectations for my participation ribbon and just to have fun and learn and grow.
Though the competition can get hairy, it all ends in wagging tails and toothy grins. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Red Deer has been crowned the winner of the Participation Most Active Community in Alberta for 2025. This is the 4th year in a row that Red Deer has won the award for the province. Local organizations team up and log all their physical activity. Hal Johnson, co-creator of Body Break, adds his take on why Red Deer has won this award.
So it really comes down to infrastructure and people that lead the charge for people to be active. If there was one drug that a doctor would prescribe that would be perfect for everyone, it would be getting out and getting active.
The prize is $15,000 to support active lifestyles in the community. People from across the province will be gathering in Drumheller to search for fossils and gems this weekend.
The great thing about going rock hounding in Drumheller,
You are never going to walk away empty-handed.
Event organizer Anastasia Piesker has long had a love for fossils and rocks. Some of the most common rocks and fossils in the region are septarian nodules and petrified wood. Piesker says many people have questions about the do's and don'ts of fossil hunting.
There's surface collecting, which is completely legal, and then there's excavating, which is not legal unless you have a permit. Surface collecting basically involves walking around, looking at the ground, seeing a fossil, and picking it up. That's completely, totally okay. Excavating is when you're doing any kind of digging with machines, tools, hands. Unless you have a permit, that's not going to be allowed.
Piesker says while fossils are legal to collect and keep in Alberta, they are the property of the government and are not allowed to leave the province. Sunday's event is open to anyone. It starts at 1 p.m. in the Walmart parking lot. Fossils of a new species of shark that lived millions of years ago have been discovered in Kentucky. The ancient shark had a distinctive curved row of teeth. Experts say the unique teeth were designed to crush small sea creatures. The fossils were found at Mammoth Cave National Park in a formation estimated to be 355 million years old. The National Park Service says the formation traces back to when Mammoth Cave was submerged in a warm, shallow sea. Coming up, from cassette tapes to cyberspace.
Because of the nature of the format, it's one which degrades, it's one which is kind of disposable.
An Alberta man trying to preserve the province's musical history.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
For years, cassette tapes were a staple for music lovers and makers in Alberta. Now, one man has made it his mission to preserve tapes made by Southern Alberta bands. CTV's Kevin Fleming reports.
It's been a passion project for Arif Ansari to make sure the music from lesser-known Southern Alberta bands doesn't get lost forever. In 2006, he started the Calgary Cassette Preservation Society and has transferred more than 2,600 cassettes to its website.
But it's also a way of giving back to the community and creating something which I think is really important for, the people that played in the bands, the family of the people that played in the bands, and people who are just like really curious or fans of those bands.
Ansari has been a part of Calgary's music scene for decades and has a few of the tracks he's played on digitized. He says it was a popular and affordable way for bands to get their music out to their fans.
Because of the nature of the format, it's one which degrades, it's one which is kind of disposable, and so the reason why preservation of those became important was because a lot of those tapes were just lost. People, especially friends who just, they had, through moves or because they played the tapes to death, they just didn't have that anymore. And so that's really kind of what this project is recovering.
The collection has grown over the years, much of it donated by lovers of locally produced music. Now he has close to 500 albums and 800 CDs to digitize. Ariel McQuaig got involved with the project because she loves to discover new tracks by obscure Southern Alberta artists.
It's important that we document stuff that is happening so we can keep encouraging people and be like, no, there is good stuff, even if we're not making it to the next level. There's amazing stuff happening, and there always has been, and no one's going to care to document it except for the people that care about Calgary.
The Society's website provides the music for free and includes information about the band members. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Taking a look at the forecast for tonight, partly cloudy sky overnight. We are going to be seeing winds die down, a little bit gusty right now. Light wind tomorrow will start off at 12 and then a mix of sun and cloud. As we get into the afternoon, there's a slight chance of scattered showers, a high of 21. Sunday, early in midday, there's a chance of scattered showers with a mix of sun and cloud after that with a high of 20. And then we start our temperature climb. Tuesday, 27, Wednesday, 29, and Thursday, possibly 30 degrees. So the heat returns for the end of the month.
That sounds fantastic. Thanks, Corey, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca or the CTV channel on YouTube. Have a great weekend.